सो हेलो गाइस, मैं हूं बंटी और ये है बबली। हम लोग हमारे गेस्ट प्रतीक सर का वेलकम करते हैं इन द आवर पॉडकास्ट सोच मत बोल दे। ये हमारे फर्स्ट गेस्ट हैं, सो लेट्स गो गाइस।
Comedy in India.
Okay, so a big issue with comedy in India in अभी recently जो समय रैना का पूरा सीन हुआ and everybody started questioning the whole sanity behind even doing comedy in the first place, right? So the tragedy of the comedy in India is that we only like to laugh up to a certain extent. Our country has zero experience of dealing with free speech in its absolute sense.
Yes.
And we take the spirit of honor, respect, dignity very, very seriously, right? So when it gets violated in terms of roast comedy or in terms of absurd talks like the recent question posted by Ranveer Alabadia.
Other, watch your parents have sex every day for the rest of your life.
क्या हो गया रणवीर भाई को?
Or would you join in once and stop it forever?
Join in what the fuck?
So what happens is it completely switches the whole dynamics of how we look at comedy to begin with. We stop considering it comedy and we start considering it offense. And because of this, in the history of Indian comedy, what we have typically done, at least since past few centuries, whatever comedy we've had in our country has always been comedy that is allowed in the social and cultural spectrum of what society considers comedy should be in. It's never unhindered comedy, where let the comedy flow and we allow the comedy to reshape the culture. We always, in our situation, the culture always takes the precedence. Where first culture needs to be validated, if we need to make sure the culture is not violated or offended by any standards, and then we can have a laugh about it. So it's almost a culture where our range of comedy itself decides how comic we can get.
मतलब जब कॉमेडी का वो चल भी रहा था तब भी ऑडियंस भी कोई बूइंग वगैरह की साउंड्स भी नहीं आई या कुछ मतलब
Exactly. Isn't it weird that people did not walk out in the show? Everybody was fine. Now imagine if you directly proportionally look at India's offense to the audience's offense in that show, half of the people would have left at least. But I don't think that was the case. That shows that people in the comic situation, once they are into the comedy, they really have a very blurred boundary of cultural implications and all that. Once you're in the moment. But once you look at it from the outsider's perspective and you see everybody is going crazy about it, you'd rather join the masses than choose the classes.
The morality wala fir
Yes. A big part of our morality, whether we like it or not, is based on the common public opinion.
Yeah.
That affects a lot. So if everybody decides something is good, for you to stand against that status quo is going to be way harder, and that's why it's much easier to say, yeah, if everybody thinks it's good, it's good. If everybody says it's bad, it's bad. That's the role being played over here.
I think that stand-up comedy India में बहुत अभी famous हो रहा है, and people are getting influenced also by
Yes.
stand-up comedy.
Absolutely.
So like, do you think कि stand-up comedy में ये sensitive topics की बात होनी चाहिए या नहीं होनी चाहिए?
So the thing is, if you look at stand-up comedy purely from entertainment perspective, there should be no reason why any topic should be beyond scope. But if you look at stand-up comedy from an influential perspective, where you're thinking people are learning from this, people are taking notes from this, people are also probably more comedians are going to learn more to do more things like this in future. If you're looking from that perspective, all the cultural implications make sense. I think the ultimate purpose of comedy itself is to act as a painkiller.
Hey guys, that was just a little sneak peek of our podcast. If you loved this, don't stop here. Catch the full episode of Soch Mat Bol De on YouTube and Spotify.